My gosh, we are in the super busy season, but I was like, let me hop on here real quick. I've been doing this a lot lately. I've been multitasking because obviously you have to market your business, you have to talk, you have to be available to people to provide value, free value before paid value, right? And so I'm literally about an hour out from a data analysis presentation that I'm doing based on some email copywriting campaigns we've been doing for a client that has been in our firm for years now. Welcome to the channel. You're watching Journey with Us. My name is Tiffany Garside. I'm an international marketing strategist of 9 years, co-founder of Black Educators Amplified, founder of Tiffy G Writes, a bespoke marketing agency for finance, real estate, and luxury brands, okay? And I have some interesting data I want to share with you. This is so good because I was doing the data analysis. I added a few things that I don't typically add because of some wonderful new things with technology, the technology that I use for my clients. I would tell you, but it may be a little bit too advanced. We use a platform called Go High Level, and then we have like Notion that will actually extract the data for us so that we can see the averages, see the click rates, see the response rates, see the click to open rates, see the patterns and trends before they're happening, okay? And I want to talk about these top performers because there's a pattern here that every marketing consultant that is an expert at what they do knows about, but the average entrepreneur that is just focused on their industry expertise in finance and education consulting and product and whatever it is that your specific niche is in, you don't understand this marketing perspective. And I'm going to give you a quick win, okay? So we saw some interesting things with the data. We saw the top 3 performers had these underlying patterns, okay? So one of the top 3 performers was like freedom and hope for a better future, helping the audience to see what their future is going to look like and then tapping into their emotions. Most people in America want to feel some type of hope for a better future with everything going on politically. I think about this as a psychology-based marketing strategist, someone that used to work on a neuroscience floor. And so when we work with our clients and we do their email copy, we write the copy, AI doesn't generate it, we generate it through our own strategy that is tried and tested, over 227 businesses and over 12 million collectively to date in client revenue generation, okay? And so this is one of the topics that we did, and it was the most successful campaign, okay? The next one was a simple follow-up email. This is nothing new for our clients. The follow-up emails always work well. Most people are afraid of selling. Most people are afraid to let people see them provide value in a higher way, okay? Most entrepreneurs, that's the difference between small businesses that make it and small businesses that don't. Some are afraid to just follow up as a courtesy reminder, but that courtesy reminder can be worth $9,000. Why do I say $9,000? Because I've literally followed up with the client and then banked $9,000, okay? So when I say these things, I say this from my experience, from my industry expertise, from real life results. Follow up, okay? So what we said, we were like missing something. Is there an issue, okay? Then our last one, another type of follow-up email. Response required. Your video is now available for review, okay? Let me tell you the 3 key patterns you see with these. You see urgency-based, problem solution oriented, and future hope focused patterns. I want you to write that down. Urgency always works in marketing. These are copywriting frameworks. Urgency works. The key is that you don't want it to be manipulative. You want to build some type of real urgency. I can give you an example. In Black Educators Amplified, we only do the cohort 4 times a year, okay? When we're booked out, meaning if a client does not get in, it won't be available until the next enrollment session. For our Black Educators Amplified new one-to-one sessions, we only take in 3 new clients per month. That's it. So when somebody comes in new and we say there's 1 spot left, like we're literally not going to take you in. That's urgency, but it's real, true urgency. So you can manufacture your urgency in your own education consulting firm, in your own finance business, whatever business it is you have, by what? having a real cutoff time, having real enrollment periods, right? We know that everything needs to be done in decency and order, and these enrollment periods will also give you time to restructure your curriculum. Look at the data, look at the client sales points, look at everything that's happening in the business, perfect your operational efficiencies, and keep moving on from there, okay? Now, when we think about like problem solution oriented messaging, this is something I use all the time. A lot of people, I was talking to my husband because we just ended cohort 6 of Black Educators Amplified. Shout out to the client who went through there and our one-to-one clients who are still going through their own custom Black Educators Amplified. But we had just ended that 8-week session, that 8-week program essentially. And he was like, he's creating an apprenticeship that he wants to take from Texas to West Africa, perhaps in Ghana and Burkina Faso. And so he was like, wow, it's clicking. You wrote the entire roadmap for me and I can just see everything. Like, I get it. I can just do it without being confused. And it was like, yes, you understand it. I love when we get feedback like that from clients because it's like the work works as long as you're doing it. If you're obedient, it works, right? But it's not like a microwave convenience. You're not just gonna jump up the first week and say, all right, I have it all together. Like, business is work. Just like your 9 to 5 is work, business is work as well. Business isn't a ticket to just like not work. Business requires you to be diligent, to pay attention to what you're doing, to be intentional, to care about your audience, to care about the message you're putting out. And that's why we always teach in Black Educators Amplified. We teach in the marketing firm. We do not use AI to create creative assets. Creative assets are literally made in nature, on our rooftop, while we're in our villa in the office. Creative assets are made in creative spaces. Creative assets are not generated with AI. Instead, what we use AI for is like data analysis, okay? And this is not something we do in Black Educators Amplified. This is a much higher level skill that we only reserve for the marketing agency. So we don't even like teach this. We don't even show anybody this except our bespoke clients who pay $50K per year to work with us month after month after month, okay? So that's something we don't even, we're not even going to, how should I put it? We're not going to, inside of Black Educators Amplified, we take some of the website copy, the sales pages that I've written over the past 9 years, structure them, use them as templates so that people can acquire the same level of marketing wisdom in a shorter time span. Okay, and I teach the workshop actively so you can actually learn the skill of writing your copy, because if you can't write copy, and copy is just words that persuade someone to take action. It can be a buying action, it can be a free ebook, but either way, you're getting somebody to take action. But we are not willing to just show that type of standard operating procedure and sell that off. That's literally a standing operating procedure that's worth hundreds of thousands, that's staying in our firm. Like, that's staying there. The way that we have actually created this bespoke technology to go ahead and implement it in a data analysis form, like we found a way and go high level using that with Notion to go ahead and extract the data points, look at the exact times, look at the range of clicks, and do it in record time so that we can find these patterns. On top of finding those patterns, we've also been able to find the marketing patterns that resonate most with the audience. So not just like words and sales copy and content and blog, but literally finding the patterns that are tied back to a specific marketing or psychology framework that works for that specific business. So this is like a tax relief, a finance firm. So for your business, it could be different. For somebody else that's in, say it's a multi-million-dollar natural hair care firm, what drives that audience is going to be different. So there's a lot of nuance with business and entrepreneurship, which is why it's so important to get a consultant, a mentor, an advisor, a service provider to provide that customization, because that data is only found with your clients and with your business. So you can copy what somebody else is doing, but unless you're literally them, serving the same clients as them, in the same industry, and you are where they're at in business, it's not going to be applicable to you. Okay, so you wouldn't just look at what we're doing and say, okay, I'm going to do exactly that, and then you're like, dang, I don't have my email list built up, I don't have my website written. I don't have my blogs that have been up on my website for 9 years. I don't have. So this is why it's so important, especially in the age of the internet, to acquire information in context. Like when you come across new business information, when you come across a new skill set, make sure you're not just copy and pasting what so-and-so said, because maybe that was just a YouTube video. That's just generic content. But behind closed doors, if you actually consult with this person, they may advise you to do something completely different, okay? And that's why we really love working with our clients. We work with the most spectacular, grateful clients. They leave reviews, testimonials on our Facebook business account. They're like, every single dollar is worth it when I spend it with you, because I get my money back as quick as ever. It's just like, I'm just so grateful. It's just such a beautiful experience. And this is one of those things that you, as you're looking at these different layoffs, you're looking at the political instability in America, you're looking at everything happening, this is a great time to ask yourself, okay, what am I willing to do? What am I willing to learn? What am I willing to be obedient to get myself to the next level? It's going to take an identity change. Even doing this right now, this is so high level, but it was like, why would I not do it? This is the way the business is moving. Why would I not? This is so high level right now that I'm just so excited to present it. My client and I have been talking behind the scenes about the data analysis and how important and incredibly helpful it is, because she has a lot of segmentation. She has an email list of over 12,000 people, or sorry, that was a different client, over 20,000 people now, so about 21,000 people on that email list. And so we do have to dig into that data. But I think one of the even more beautiful points about what we do is the fact that we get to bring this to you, like small business owners, new entrepreneurs. They're just getting their feet wet, just getting off the ground, that otherwise would have no access to this. I mean, this data analysis that we just wrote, you're not gonna find this on Google, honey. You're not gonna find this information on Google. You just not gonna find it, because it's based on custom data. It's based on human interaction. It's based on what we're seeing from doing the work live for this finance company, right? So it's like, it's just such a beautiful thing. But as I was saying, the most beautiful thing about it is the fact that you can get access to it without paying $50K. That's the most beautiful part. That's where the education consulting comes in, where we can provide this expertise to you in a way, give you access to this knowledge, help you come up with your website copy messaging. Because by the way, this client also purchased website copy messaging. Her website is up and it's immaculate. Okay? Not only is it immaculate, but it converts. She's had a 41K month in the last 30 days. That's double what clients usually get. I just looked at the analytics. And so it's like, you have to be willing to become a different person to go to the next place that you want to be in, right? Because this identity of writing an analytics report like this, digging this deep into the data, digging this deep into the messaging that we're doing, having this specific nuance for each campaign and seeing, okay, what exact pattern are we using here? How can we replicate this? Being this detail oriented is high level, but it matches the package. It matches what we're doing, providing extreme value. And it's like, in the age of AI, you're either providing extreme value or you won't be in business. You can take it or leave it. You are either providing extreme out this world value for businesses that need your expertise, or for customers that, let's say you have a wellness firm, right? You provide some kind of wellness testing, you provide some type of functional medicine, you provide some type of massage therapy, whatever it is you provide, make sure that it's beyond generic. Make sure that it exceeds what can be found on Google. That's the way you stay in business, because I think I said this in another video I did, but I'm looking at my peers that I grew up around in Ohio, okay? My peers who we were in business together, we would do events together, we would just like have fun together. We were new at starting our businesses back then. And when I say new, we were under 4 years in business. Going to networking events, trying to make things work, okay? We threw one event. I don't actively go to a lot of networking events, but some people that I used to be around did. And I look around and it's so humbling. I'm so grateful to the Most High. Most of those entrepreneurs, Black women entrepreneurs, They're no longer in business. They're no longer in business. And I start to ask myself, as somebody that looks at data, somebody that looks at creative copywriting and strategy and messaging, I ask myself, okay, what's the difference from my business and theirs? What's the difference from what my husband and I do, and what's the difference between what they do? And I came down to two main conclusions. One, vanity. A lot of people will get expensive photography, expensive graphics, expensive things that make you look great. You know, if you're a model, that's good. That's great. But when it comes down to actually driving results, repeatable results that a multi-million-dollar firm can use, then it's like, and this is our document that we use multiple years. Okay? It's so simple. But why do they keep renewing? Why do our clients consistently renew year over year over year? We've even had clients leave and come back and say, I'm sorry, I should have stayed with you. That's different right there. When you have a client leave and be like, well, I want to try to do, and then they come back like, I'm sorry. I'm like, don't apologize to me. That's your business. That's your business. That ain't none of my business. Look, it don't hurt me either way, because I know what I have. I know the value that I bring, right? But y'all, it's really something, because the vanity, the photography, the graphics, the, how can I say it, the bells and whistles of business. It's like, let me have the cutest logo. Let me get the cutest web designer that is a 10K package. Let me get this, let me get that looks so cute. 5 to 10 years later, these businesses don't make it. They go out of business. Why? Because like I've said, since the inception of this business, this writing that I do for clients, it's not about any of that. It's about the message. If you're marketing, and cross out the word marketing and put writing, education, and communication strategy. If you're writing, communication strategy, and your education is not speaking to the right person at the right time in all seasons of life, if you can't adapt with the times, if you can't admit, and this is the second point, if you can't admit where you have a weak spot, you're not going to make it in business. You're not going to make it past the 5 to 10 year mark. I think that's the main thing I see different. We've even been dealing with a lot of African immigrants to America that have left Africa, left the village life to come to America, build wildly successful businesses, like multi-million-dollar businesses. They're usually Nigerian, by the way. I'm just throwing that out there. But they build these wildly successful businesses, okay? And I often ask, okay, what's the difference between them and somebody that was born in America, that technically had the better education, that had all the stuff? It's the same thing. The people cared, the successful ones cared about the results, not the vanity metrics. They didn't care to do a brand shoot that was 10K to look the part, right? They didn't care about looking the part. It wasn't about the look. It was about, what results can I drive for somebody every month, every year, over and over and over and over. Forget the vanity. Forget the coolest graphics. Forget the coolest website development. Forget all of that and perfect the message. The wealth is in the message. Okay? Literally, the greatest communication strategist of all time, I believe, is our Savior, Yahusha. And if you have the eyes to see it, you look at how he speaks to people. One, he always empathizes, meaning he doesn't just come at someone and say, oh my gosh, you did this, you going. He empathize. He starts with empathy. That's why in our firm, I always start with empathy, and I start with the 20 question framework. I want to understand the client. I want to understand what their struggles are, what their pain points are, what they eat in the morning, what they think about when they sleep at night, what keeps them up at 3 a.m. Do they sleep well? Do they not sleep well? What podcasts do they listen to? What are they frustrated by? What are they excited about? These are things that you have to understand and care about. And Yeshua, he cared about that with people and does care about that. Like literally the greatest strategic communications person that ever walked the earth, because he just cared about humanity. He really cared. Like when he would speak to people, and yes, he is literally the center of the universe and the center of everything, and he literally could have just had a different attitude, but he didn't. the king of the entire universe, the only one that could really like flex a little bit, like I'm the king of everything. He didn't. He would literally empathize, and then not only would he empathize if you study the Gospels, but he would tell a story. This is why I love writing, I'm telling you. I love it. King David was the same way, storyteller, writer, all the time. Because it's not about it's not always about that. It's about the message. What do you make people feel when they're around you? Do they feel empowered, or do they feel sad? Do they feel like they can do it and you're going to help them and you're a concierge service there to push them to their next level, there to help them close the wealth gap, there for Yahusha's sake, for his instance, it was there to help them get salvation. But what are you there for? Or does, when somebody finds your business, is it just like they just threw this up? When they're reading the website copy, they're just like, sounds kind of generic, I don't know. They don't know what to think. They're not just gonna just say no in a hateful way, but they won't buy either. They won't click. They'll just be kind of have this mediocre feeling like, well, nice, thanks for telling me about it, but I'm not interested, right? You don't want people to feel like that when they come across your website message, especially if you're planning to come to Africa and get these investor permits, get these digital nomad visas. You better have a well-written business plan. You better have a well-written message on your website. You better know what you're talking about. You better be the portfolio person. You better have a portfolio that is just written immaculately, okay? Your portfolio needs to be A1. You need a body of work. There's no way that you can expect people to buy a luxury item from you, but you're not willing to put your face out there. You're not willing to show a portfolio of work. You're not willing to be uncomfortable. Like right now, I was like, man, I really just want to sit and watch Netflix before my presentation in 45 minutes. But I didn't. I have to show up and serve. I have to show up and speak to people. I have to show up and provide my view so that it can help the next person, because somebody, it's probably going to be more, and somebody's going to be a couple hundred people. A couple hundred people are going to see this and run with it and be like, oh, this makes sense. Great. Something else we did that has changed. Recently, we started sending emails, not in the morning, but mid-morning, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We've seen in the high frequency time that we're in for finance firms. Every finance firm is super busy right now. I'll just put it like that. As a financial services copywriter, we're in the super busy book season. I'm telling you, my client just looked at it today, 41K in 1 month. You do the math, 41K. And we're not even in April yet. Okay, finance firms, you're in the busy season. But one thing about her, and she's an immigrant, I just want to put that out there. One thing about her, and she has an accent, and this is why it's like, y'all, stop counting yourself out. She has such a strong West African accent, okay? And she will show up on live with her accent and tell you about how to get tax relief, okay? So people that are like, oh, I can't because, you know, I don't have my bomb makeup, I didn't do this, and then I need like a podcast mic and a photo shoot, and then I need this. And you know, what if they don't like how I talk? What if I just come? Successful people will just run with it and do it and ask questions later. Because successful people know when you have something of value, it's not about the look. It's about the feeling and the result. It's not about who cares? This is not a modeling agency. Unless you're a modeling agency. Unless you're selling something like a pack of Skittles, you want to come out with the best branding for your Skittles. Unless you're selling something like that, be okay, especially if you're a service provider, especially if you're an education consultant, especially if you want to open your consulting firm and create stability for yourself outside of a 9-to-5, outside of these government layoffs. Understand that people are not going to buy from you for the looks. How do I know? Because so many of my peers have gone out of business. I keep seeing posts in this last year. I can't wait till they put the data analysis out on it and show us the statistics on how many businesses have failed. Because we are at an age, and to me, it's a bit, how can I put it? It's disheartening that we want to be business owners, we say. But then when it really comes down to providing the result, we'll care more about vanity than the actual result. So when clients work with us, we want them to come in and be like, this is great. And then at the end of it, be like, that was past great. I didn't even know you were able to provide all that value. We never want people to be so caught up in like the look and, oh, it looks so cute. And then you get in, you're like, you ain't even put nothing in here. Do you even care? Did you even critique the user experience? Did you go back through and edit the curriculum? Did you go back through and edit the copy? That's where these methodologies come from, because this is something I've done for 9 years now. Next month, it will be 9 years. I'm excited, okay? I'm excited because I got out of that statistic of most Black women entrepreneurs not being able to take their business past the 5-year mark. I'm happy. And then when you get higher past 10 years, past 15 years, it's even lower. But guess what? We're here to work with those top 1 to 10% entrepreneurs. Literally, as Tiffy G writes, the woman who is the top 1% of email marketing specialists in the world by Marketer Hire. Shout out to them. Fantastic. That's what we do. That's what I do. When we do our work, it's you like, how'd you come up with this? Experience. So if you're someone that has a wild amount of experience, even 5 years of experience, 10 years, we work with clients who have 15 years of experience, and I'm like, you just need a content writer, you need a marketing specialist to come in and package it for you. That's it, because your experience is out this world. And I know you're like that as well. I know your experience is out this world. You have been to school, you've been back to school. You've been in corporate, making people money, making people's lives easier, corporations' lives easier. You've been in HR, helping people. But guess what? When is it time to help other people in your community? When's it time to help other small businesses and say, you know what, corporation, this has been fantastic, but I really want to live my life on my terms. I really want to work 20 hours per week. I really want to work 15 hours per week in a group consulting container, providing more impact and value. I really want to package up this expertise that I have, this curriculum with my convictions that I have in my industry, and use it to help people other than just this corporation. When is it time? But that's a question that you have to answer for yourself. Shalom, shalom. I'll see you in the next video. Check out the link in the description to apply to Black Educators Amplified Cohort 6. Talk soon.